Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to all who joined us today. I will be getting to drink today while I watch this episode, which comes in handy on some boring episodes. So that's a good thing. And per usual, I will say my live stream on Paramount Plus is usually a minute behind anybody watching on CBS today. And I will be typing away with notes. I think we'll be mourning Derek today again. Hopefully, that doesn't mean more Ashley tears, more Ashley front and center. Hello, Lightning Storm. Welcome back. Third day in a row for you. Glad to see you. Hello, Diane. It is happy hour for me. And here we go, starting with Derek's wake. Right. Unfortunately for Vanessa, like she ever gave a damn. Well, here's Derek's friends. His friends probably would have been a better watch than anything Ashley Grayson. Naomi Jacob. Hello, Kaiwan. Hello, Wanda Dixon. Hello, Bocello. Welcome back. I mean, Ashley didn't tell that to Derek's dad. Lightning Storm says, I wonder if the spicy Latina girl is going to show up. I doubt it. Hello, Z Hicks. Hello, Devin. I'm sure Jerry Springer are much more dramatic than this episode we're going to get today. Hello, Bobby Wobby, who says, but Ashley told Derek's father he was undercover. Here's a toast to Derek. Hopefully, he takes Ashley with him to the afterlife soon. Here comes Ted, going to be an idiot. Hello, Miss Blue. Hello, Phoenix Rising. Welcome. Well, yeah, Ted, you suck as a father and a grandfather, apparently. It's a Danny and Bill day. Hello, exotic butterfly. Welcome back. Kaiwan says that means you don't even try to find out what's going on in your kid's life. Only Eva. Yeah. Well, that's something to say from Danny. Well, I'm glad I'm drinking today because it seems like most of this episode is going to be about the funeral. Lightning Storm says that was interesting between Danny and Bill. Danny throwing a little shade at Bill. Z Hicks loves them some Bill and Danny. Bobby Wobby says Ashley not telling anyone that Derek followed Grayson because he was suspicious of Derek. Of course she's not. Book Chalice says I sense another flop episode. Too much Ashley. It has been Ashley overkill. Kaiwan asks, do you think Bill will ever win back his ex-wife or make Andre jealous again? I think he will at some point. But that whole storyline is in one big stall until they decide to move Haley and Bill along. But seems like we're going to need Danny and Bill to carry today's episode somehow. Devin says Bill is definitely making Andre jealous, but Danny won't admit her new hubby gets jealous. She won't. But also, Andre tries to play it off like he doesn't get jealous. Z Hicks says Bill poisoned with Danny to the rescue. Somehow Danny is going to play savior for Bill, or at least take good care of him after the poison really wears him down. Taiwan says, my kid brother graduated. His name is Douglas. So, yes, a shout out to Douglas. Congrats on the graduation. That's cool. Book Chalice says, if the writers had played the Danny and Bill correctly, they would have an illicit affair by now, and Bill will stroke out in her bed because of the poison, making Danny suspicious. That would be dramatic. Quite soapy. I agree, Bocella. Hello, DGF. Welcome back. Oh my god, then I gotta deal with this fake ass trash. I mean, I don't know how Andre plays basketball against Isaiah. Z Hicks says Ashley smiles at Andre. She's sly. Now they're hugging. Devin, I don't think they'll ever kill off Bill anytime soon, though. Alton Davis says, why couldn't the show do this type of celebration with Doug? This is boring. I mean, Doug's probably would have been equally as boring. It just would have been more bad crying from Vanessa. Devin says they better hope they better hope Ted ain't playing. He can get eye level with the rim. That's what he says. Lightning Storm says, this is why I like being in the BTG fan base. We come up with way better ideas than the writers do. It's kind of sad, though. Ashley should not be the one hosting this. No, I agree, Bookchella. I don't think they need to kill Bill, but it would be a way to move the story along. Because this whole Haley just poisoning Bill every couple weeks doesn't even have dramatic effect anymore. Danny's reading Bill for Phil today, though. Bookchella says instead of snapping at Jacob, Derek's dad should have read Ashley for Phil for the way she treated Derek. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that more. Hello, ATC. Welcome back. Thanks for trying to get through this Derek funeral episode today. It's off to a yawner of a start. What do you mean, ATC? I mean, I honestly don't know why they're talking about Mike now. I guess they have to really try and make Mike being back matter. But it's so hard to get into that storyline because it involves Madison, and we never see Madison or her actual storylines. Yeah, ATC, I don't know. They want to maybe remind us about Danny and Bill's troubles in their marriage. Remind us that Bill really ain't shit. Kathy says, I don't understand why they try to put Andre with Vanilla Ashley to start with. She's boring with every man on this show. I don't know why they just keep trying to make her happen, period. It's not a good character. Z Hicks, his friends from the firehouse were there. Hello, Elise. Mine just came back from commercial. Me too, Lightning Storm. They need some extra sets. And yes, Diane, you're right. They have to repeat dialogue because all the stories move so slow, which they do on all soap operas, but some soap operas are better than others at not having to use repetitive scenes and dialogue. Exactly, Bookchella. I don't understand why they're treating Ashley like Derek's widow either. She should not be the one hosting this. It should have been Jacob from Jump. How does Isaiah know Derek? Yes, exotic butterfly. I enjoy y'all's comments more than these episodes these days. Other than a couple of actual good episodes last week, it's usually rough. Bookchild says they repeat dialogues because they only have surface level clue about who these characters are. They haven't really explored the characters to take full advantage of them. I agree with that too. Exactly, Lightning Storm. I don't know why Isaiah is speaking and not Jacob. Devin, last week was the best week since October, November. But really, it was only Monday through Wednesday. I thought Thursday and Friday kind of sucked. Yeah, Bookchild, and I think Guza left in around October-ish. Elise thinks Chelsea's butterfly earrings are gaudy and ugly. They are huge. Does Ted ever learn? Obviously not. It's a rhetorical question, but he's always trying to look so good to Nicole. There goes Fool Ted. Miss Blue says this is garbage. Vanessa is trash. Vanessa is trash. Book Child says Chelsea Madison is another couple I could care less about. It's hard to care for them because, like, they don't flesh out their storylines at all. It all happens off screen. Elton Davis says, with the Impaler not revealed, and is probably watching Grayson, Ashley, Jacob, Naomi, even Leah and Ren are still in danger. You would think that's what the Impaler is up to. DGF says the filler is settling down. Nicole's pretty bone structure is back. She never looked that bad to me, but maybe I'm blind. ATC asks, why is Ashley acting like she was Derek's current fiance? That's what we're all wondering, I think. Miss Blue says Nicole's face is becoming recognizable again. Devin says not. Nicole always looks fine. Devin does love him some Nicole. Z Hicks says Ted trying to be controlling of Nicole, not happening. I don't think Ted's trying to be controlling per se. I feel like Ted always does things where he thinks it's going to make him look good for Nicole. Some could consider what Ted tries to do as manipulative, actually. But yes, like Book Cha is saying, Ted has the worst instincts ever. We're not even halfway through. Lightning Storm says Ted isn't smart enough to be manipulative. He's not, but he tries. Book Chalice says, on days like this, I miss As the World Turns and One Life to Live. Those soaps are definitely missed. Franco asks, do you have a favorite character? Well, Lynette's gone, so I guess it can't be her. In the early days, it was Leslie and Eva, but it's no longer them. And Danny. I've always liked Danny. So I guess I'll go with Danny for now, even though they've made her boring too. Did they say that ATC? I don't know. I must have missed it. Well, if Naomi's gonna nurse Ashley's broken heart, it's time to have them hook up already. Franco, I'd say today's show is boring. Hello, Lulu. Welcome back. Why is Bill even sticking up for Mike? God, I can't stand Ted. Bobby Wobby says Danny talking like someone tried to assault her when she was a model. Maybe someone did. Book Chalice says, I don't get why Bill and Danny are arguing about Mike like WTF. I don't get it either. Seems random. Devin says, if I was Bill, I'd be like, you're leaving the case because your friend's ex boyfriend died. I would be questioning that too. Bobby Wobby says, what board, Anita and Vernon? They probably are the board. They're the Duprees after all. Maybe we'll finally see Madison's mother May 2027 when they have their wedding. Now all I could see is Chelsea's earrings after it was mentioned earlier in the chat by Elise. Devin says, I'm bored of Anita and Vernon. You could add a lot of characters after that of who I'm bored with. Alan Davis says, what is your take? Beyond the Gates would be better if it were a nighttime soap opera. Well, it might have better writers, but I prefer daytime soap operas myself. Hello, Aaliyah. We're not excited today. So you don't have to rush home to watch. Bobby Wobby says they should have made this the Monday Memorial Day special. Yeah, this could have been a good Memorial Day episode. Well, good might be a strong word, but Miss Blue says at least Leslie is not there. True, I guess. We'll see her tomorrow, though. Devin says, what was the Memorial Day special? I don't know. I think they just aired some repeat of an inside look at Beyond the Gates or something. Yeah, Leah, no need to speed through the streets unless you really, really want to see a lot of Ashley again because of Derek's memorial. I can't see anything in Chelsea's scenes except her earrings. Aaliyah says, must be Ashley week. It's one of those weeks. When are we going to get a Lynette week? Devin, what are you asking? If it was a repeat from last week? I don't think it was an episode. I think it was like a special inside look. Bookchella says, I can't believe they managed to write one good episode for May Sweeps and said, to hell with the rest of them. This show is so frustrating. It really is frustrating. ATC says Naomi needs to attend to Jacob's mental health. I assume that's where they're going with the Jacob storyline. Aaliyah says, I definitely loved Lynette. Me too. DGF says, Danny reading Bill for Filth regarding his business has made today's episode worth the watch. I mean, that was definitely the highlight of the episode. Not a hard thing to accomplish in an episode that's mostly about Derek's funeral and Ashley doing a lot of talking, but it was something. Aaliyah says, I feel like the writers don't seek out opinions on how we are receiving the storylines. They do little things here and there to try and calm complaints. Like, I feel like they've tried to calm a lot of the cat complaints and her shitty parents, well, at least shitty Ted. But overall, they don't listen. And I don't, writers don't necessarily have to listen to the audience if their storylines are good, but their storylines are not good. Bookchella says, Michelle Valjean said, trust them. I don't trust them at all. No, I've lost that trust. I trusted them into February, but since then, can't trust them anymore. DGF says the character of Ashley is getting the center of the show treatment this week. I know you'd think Ashley's fucking Erica Kane the way she's been on so much the past few weeks. It's not just this week, it's the last few weeks. Kaiwan, I really don't think they're gonna go the Andre and Ashley direction again, but I guess it wouldn't surprise me with this writing. But I do feel like that's one thing the writers did learn is that people didn't like Andre and Ashley. I think they're still gonna act like Ashley and Grayson are a super couple, though. I agree, Phoenix, the writing needs to improve before anything else. I would not say that Derek was a big old flirt. Aaliyah says, "Ew, Andre and Ashley were a hell no." Bookchild says, "Ashley has had nothing but strikeouts. She needs to be cut from the team. The character sucks." It's true. She really is the Cleveland Browns of soap opera characters. Honestly, Miss Blue, all those options are bad for Ashley. Derek, Andre Grayson. I'm only team Ashley and Naomi. Yeah, Ashley and Naomi. Was it harsh, Devin? Lightning Storm says, "It's too bad, though. Jen is a good actress. I feel like they need to give Ashley a mental breakdown to change her character into something better." I mean, I don't hate the acting for her. She's not a good crier, but Aaliyah says, "Just because you get renewed for 2 more seasons doesn't mean BS our way through the 2 years." They're gonna BS their way through the next year and a half, I think. Bookchild says, "They are doing more for Derek than they ever did for Doug, and Doug was actually interesting." I will agree with that. Nosy Hicks Ash does not need to be with Andre. Oh, Jacob's finally giving his speech. Aaliyah says, "How do we explain Naomi and Ashley getting together? It only would have worked if they would have killed off Jacob instead of Derek." DGF. Apparently, nobody could read Ashley for filth about how she treated him. I agree, Kathy. Ashley's better as just a nurse. Book Chalice says the actor who plays Jacob must have used eye drops. Phoenix says Ash and Andre was also a boring, horrible, chemistry-less storyline. No thanks on the way. I don't think her acting is bad, but she does lack chemistry with every man that she's tried to be with. Aaliyah says, "I'm wondering if they got a lot of complaints on how Doug's death was handled a day. Maybe that's why they're doing more for Derek." Is that supposed to really help this show's core audience? Does it? Because I don't think it does, but maybe that is why their train of thought. I don't know. Devin says, I like the Ashley mental breakdown storyline. Quit the hospital, stab Grayson. We know he won't die anyway. Punch Jacob for not saving Derek, then become best friends with Vanessa. You lost me at the end. I don't need her being best friends with Vanessa, but the rest of it sounds good. DGF says production needs to open up their pocketbook for more sets. They do. There was a rumor going around that with the renewal, they would get more money, but I don't know if that means they don't get more money until next year, though. Z Hicks says Kyle and Nicole on time for Ted departure. I don't know which one's more interesting to me. Nicole and her fool of an ex, or Nicole and Kyle that seems to really go nowhere. Aaliyah says Ashley should have the role Shanice used to have. Kaiwan, I'm not sure who you're saying had the Luke and Laura energy. Bobby Wobby says production only open their pocketbooks for Anita storylines. They do. Bookchaw says I'm not even listening to Danny and Bill anymore. They have been the least annoying part of this episode, even though their conversation seems like a waste of time to me. Barbara Gregg says, so is Derek going to appear to Ashley in her dreams? Probably. DGS says the actor who played Derek seemed to be sad about the death and glad that the character grew on the audience. Yeah, it was bad timing for them to kill him off. I feel like people just finally warmed up to him in the past 5 months. Lightning Storm says this Danny and Bill discussion should have happened last year. It is a year late for sure. Kaiwan says they need better storylines. Yes. Phoenix Rising, Ashley is the Cleveland Browns. Devin says Ashley can quit the hospital, punch Jacob, stab Grayson. Jan throws her into a rehab center. She comes back as a psycho lady, hiding it behind a fake smile. I don't hate it. Book Chalice says Devin keeps trying to save Ashley. I mean, at least if they're gonna go the route of Ashley going crazy, it has to end with her dying and getting written off the damn show. Kaiwan, I don't want to see Ashley be like Kat and be some sort of fake detective. Nancy Drew. Devin says, I'm a wrestling fan. I rebook things in my head all day. I feel you there, Devin. I have to stop myself from doing that. Bookchild says, I don't want Ashley involved in the Impaler storyline anymore. This is too much. It's way too much. The story was already bad before they inserted Ashley and Grayson more, and it got even worse since then. Diane says, I just got preempted for a large fire in downtown Dallas. Well, I hope everyone's okay. Probably more dramatic than this episode, though, I hate to say. I could go for a cult storyline. But honestly, Lightning Storm, they're probably just talking about this and not actually going to be a storyline. Phoenix, I think that was just a rumor about the actor. Aaliyah says Deanna can be in the cult. Bookchild says, I don't want to see them trying to write a cult storyline. Chelsea would be the first victim. Yeah, Chelsea would be the first victim off screen, probably. Bobby Wobby says, of course we couldn't see Nicole's session with the person that was in the cult, right? Probably would have been a lot more entertaining than watching Ashley cry for 4 fucking episodes. Lulu says, were you all episode interrupted by breaking news? No breaking news here, surprisingly. Never seen it, Kaiwan. Aaliyah says, I wish the show had a suggestion box. Bookchild says, although Tomas does talk like he is in a cult. That's one way they could use Tomas, I guess. Miss Blue says, I wish I had breaking news because I am dozing. Bookchild says, if they had a suggestion box, I'd write them a script for free. They could use it and not even give me credit. I know I could write some breakdown stories for them. I wouldn't write a whole script for free, but Lightning Storm says there should have been some drama with the Latina firefighter who made out with Derek on Ashley's couch. Get a little funeral drama going. You think this show's going to give us drama at a funeral? No. Z Hicks says Ash talks to everyone like she and Derek was a loving couple. Liar. That's been one of my many big problems with this aftermath of Derek's death. Who can take Ashley seriously with all of this shit? She was Derek's biggest hater. DGF says this guardian angel business is very I'll be watching you creepy. You think we'll see Derek as a guardian angel as this show continues to devolve into passions? Miss Blue says Ashley is acting like she is a widow and they are all treating her like she is one. Yeah, it's insane to me. Exotic Butterfly says Ashley, please, Derek was all that to you until he brought his recliner to your studio apartment. Bookchild says the writers aren't doing Ashley any favors with this story. They have made the viewers dislike her more. Exactly. I feel the same way. I feel like I feel worse about Ashley than I did just 6 months ago. Alton Davis says the argument between Danny and Bill was just a discussion of the problems in their marriage. Why hadn't they did this early in the soap? Instead, the show just went right into the breakup and divorce. I feel like they wanted to start super dramatic with Danny and Bill's divorce and then not talking. So I won't be mad at them for that. But they do a lot of things with Bill that is just long overdue. Like he's asking about Haley's past a year after marrying her. Now having this discussion with Danny so late. DGF says, right, she was his biggest hater and the biggest nag she was. So it's a joke to have to watch Derek's biggest hater be the spokesperson for him at his funeral. Damn, this buzz is finally hitting with go. I says she complained the whole time they were together. She Bookchild says Ashley's biggest memories of Derek will be how he had an ugly couch, didn't pick up a towel, and messed up her refrigerator. Yeah. Taiwan says he didn't even find Barbara Gregg says Jacob has survivor's guilt. James says outstanding episode. Were you watching a rerun of The Wire or something, James? Kaiwan says, will they get a Euphoria? I don't watch Euphoria, Kaiwan, so I don't know. Yazzie Hicks, Ted and Bill commiserating. Lightning Storm says, I complain a lot, but do like the show. Just wish it were better. I don't like it as much as I did even just 3, 4 months ago. Devin, who's Tyler? Well, we got a little emotion out of Jacob at the end. I guess that's something. Aaliyah, I don't know who Tyler is. Devin hears things in his head. He's crazy like Deanna. Well, that was our episode today. Rip to old Derek, and rip to anyone that fell asleep watching today's episode. At least they did give him a much bigger send off than Doug for whatever reason. You would think this was not a black soap opera doing that. DGF says the actress who playing Ashley doesn't have the charisma of a soap it girl. She doesn't. I don't know if they're trying to make her the it girl, but they're giving her more than she could handle. I'll say that. They definitely try to make her the it girl when it comes to dating. I don't know why every Ashley storyline has to be about dating because it's failed every time. Book Chalice says, Welp, I hope we get a break from Ashley tomorrow because I can't take anymore. I think we are, but don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. Denise says, wow, really slow day. It was. It was. Well, that is it for today. I will be back later for the review. Not that I have a lot to say. And then I will be back tomorrow again for a watch along, I think. Elise says, maybe because the others will come back alive in the show, but not White Boy Derek. You think Doug's still going to come back and not just be a vision of Deanna? I do think there's a small chance that we can see Lynette again, but it might just be wishful thinking. All right. Thank you all for joining me per usual and entertaining me and coming up with better ideas than the actual writers.